Hello and welcome to another edition of Offset with Kinger and the Big Man, coming to you from North Park Lounge and sponsored by Rourke Automotive Group, the Rourke Automotive Advantage, which gives you a lifetime engine warranty, lifetime oil changes, lifetime inspection when you purchase a car at Rourke Automotive. We thank them for sponsoring us. We're happy, of course, to be here at North Park Lounge as well with One Team Production, taking care of everything for us, and we're very happy to be joined by our guy in the middle. Offset with King and the Big Man. There's the Big Man, Jay Caufield. I'm Rob King, and this is Scott Blasey here for part two of our podcast. One was not enough to fit in Scott Blasey. Scott, we talked a lot about your music, and we want to talk more about it, and you've got a guitar, which is a very promising sign.
It's a promising sign.
We're hoping. We got our fingers crossed. You're a huge sports fan. What are your first sort of sports remembrances?
The 71 World Series. I was probably 6, 7 years old. They were day games. I was in elementary school, and the school was close enough to where I lived. I would walk to and from school, and I remember literally running from school to be able to catch. I think the games maybe started at 1 o'clock or so, and I would just run home so I could catch some of the later innings of the game. And I think I could probably name every starter on the 71 World Series team. That got me started. You know, when you have a championship team like that, it's easy to be a fan. My mom and dad would take me to games at Three Rivers Stadium. And then my uncle started taking me to some Steeler games. We would go down to Oakland to see the Pitt Panthers play in the 70s when they had those national championship team in 76. Just loved sports growing up. Saw the Pittsburgh Condors of the ABA still have our program.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's great. So, just grew up loving sports. Played Little League Baseball. I was on the 1977 Pennsylvania State Champs. Connersville.
Really?
We had a terrific Little League teams. We won 3 years in a row, 76, 77, 78.
What did you play? What position?
First base and center field.
Nice. Were you tall then?
I was tall then, and I threw right, but batted left.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, had a good swing. Wasn't a power hitter, but got on base a lot. My on-base percentage was probably pretty good. We didn't keep those kind of stats at the time. But just loved sports, just grew up in that era of, just in late winter, shoveling snow off the basketball court so we could play basketball.
Right. What were your favorite sports to play? Was it baseball or?
Baseball was my first love for sure. And then it really turned into basketball. I played basketball through high school and was pretty good. I was tall. I could jump, played inside. And just love the game. And my youngest daughter plays now, so that's a real thrill.
That's fantastic. I think we all grew up, similar ages, we all grew up in the era in which when you got home from school, you were outside, right? And if you were inside, the TV didn't come on. Maybe you watch a program or something like that. Different upbringing and rambling around and playing sports and learning how to play sports in the backyard. And I think, by the way, that's lost a little bit with professional athletes today. We're talking about, adjustments from AAA to the majors. I still think a little bit of that. How do you, instead of going to the local, group now that's teaching you swing paths and stuff like that, how do you learn how to compete in the backyard, Jay? How do you learn how to figure something out? I think maybe that part of is lost from when we were kids.
I think we've talked to all our guests that have been on, and whatever sport they've been in or involved in, it's a missing piece to, number one, you're becoming specialized in one sport. They want you only playing one sport, can't play multiples. It's hurting the athlete in some ways, and they get burnt out. And then they're not doing the things that we did as kids, like you said, going out in the playground or in the backyard and missing how to figure the game out themselves. People are spending money on a lot of things early in the game, like, again, to be specialized in a sport. So I think it's what kids are missing out on, but something we had that we kind of cherished, and you had to figure the game out yourself.
Yeah. And you guys know all the best athletes played all the sports.
That's right.
They played football, and they played basketball in the winter, and they played baseball in the spring.
Right. You also learn some life lessons, like how good am I? Who can I pick on?
Right.
Who do I better run away from? If I get mad? Well, whatever the case is,
I was just, I see my daughter when she plays, and there are there aren't as many leagues. There are I'm trying to think of, there's coaching, but, we just competed. We played,
Right.
you played basketball and winter stayed on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
That's how you got good. You just competed. Now it's, there's drills and there's, things like that. And she loves the game, and I'm supporting her in every way I can, but it's definitely a different world.
Does she travel? Are you doing travel basketball?
She's going to be a sophomore, so she's sort of beyond that. And it was interesting. She played rec for many years and sort of lost interest a little bit in middle school and was doing theater and stuff. Like her older sister, and then came to me before her freshman year and said, I want to play basketball again. I said, well, let's get to work. It's not too late. You're only 15. And so she's been putting in the work, and I think she realized, skill level, was a little behind, and but she's working hard and just loves being part of the team. And we live in Peters Township, so the girls won the Whitfield championship last year, so she got to be a part of that, which was really a special thing.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll have like father, like daughter, right? We have state championship and a Whitfield championship. By the way, Winter Stays On brings on some great memories. I remember being in Cooperstown, and you'd go to the gym 1:30 on Saturday, and there'd be guys that would come back from college, or guys that were maybe 22, 23 years old that had moved back to the area. I was in 10th grade or 9th or 10th grade at the time. So there's there's small area. So it's like you have some 15-year-olds on a team and 22, and it was Winter Stays On, man, and you better learn what you can do and can't do, and because if you lost, you might as well leave the gym. Seriously, or go do something, go swim or do something else, because you weren't going to get on again.
I think you learn to play against, you could be playing against older talent. I think it's such a big thing. I played against older, boys all the time. My brother, I had an older brother, so I always played guys that were 2-3 years older than me. It only makes you better. Yep. Same for the girls. Yep. And totally get it. And I think that my daughters both play basketball too, right through college. So I enjoyed every moment of watching them play as well. So I think it's something, though, we've talked about what the society is missing out on. And again, as I said, every guy to a man feels the same way as we do right here. Mm-hmm. You're not learning other things. You're not learning other sports, and you're not able to kind of on the fly maybe fix what's going on with your own game, whatever that might be. So to me, we all loved it. We all loved how we did it. But again, watching your daughter play, that's
priceless.
No, I kind of loved it all the time too.
Yeah. I remember the first points she scored. I'd just hard not to break down a little bit.
It's very good.
That's awesome. That's so great.
So by the way, we did say, so Rob and I, one of the other things we loved too was a little different. But when you played at the arena.
Yeah.
For hockey games.
Talk about trying to figure out problems. How do we do the intermission reports and go see the Clarks? We're playing during intermission. How do we figure that out?
We did it.
Kind of problem solve.
We did. We had to run through. As soon as we were over, we go, we off air? Because we go over and see.
That's the last little bit of the last song.
We were.
Because you guys were just down a few spots from us from where we were doing the. But did you enjoy doing that?
I love those shows. It was unique. You play a handful of songs in between periods, and then you play a couple at the end. It was a very different type of gig.
Yeah.
But really a thrill. And just it was fun for my family. My wife and kids would come and enjoy the hockey game. And yeah, great.
That was fun.
We loved it.
Yeah, we enjoyed it.
Because Rob and I usually, like when we were done in intermission, we would take, go right back up or get to our spots. That one, we were on a mission.
Yeah.
We were going through.
We'd have the clip on, we had the microphones that come out over your ear, and it would literally be like, Steve Mears and Bob Airy had the call coming up after this. We'd be taking our mics off before we got the break so we could hustle over and check out the Clarks. That's outstanding. Yeah, fun stuff. So you have a new EP out, right? So let's plug that. Come on, man.
Well, the Clarks released a couple songs last year, and I put out an EP last year as well. It's called 3 the Hard Way. If you go to my website, scottblasey.com, you can social media sites, there's videos and where I'm playing shows and stuff, but you can also listen to the songs there.
By the way, you've just solved something that that it's been a long issue here in Pittsburgh, because I've heard it different ways. Blasey, not Blasey. I think I've said Blasey every time. It's Blasey.
Yes, I don't remember. You were kind of in between.
I was trying to cheat,
but
I was trying to cheat.
It's very much. Some people say Blasey, and it's been happening for so many years. I don't even. It's not worth.
It's a hard S though. Blasey.
It's a Blasey. Yes.
Okay. Good. All right. So, you can play us a couple songs.
I'd love to. I'd like to introduce this one as well, if you don't mind.
Do it. We're going to step aside and let you do it.
In the late 2000s, my wife and I moved back to Pennsylvania from Dallas, Texas, and she was pregnant with our third daughter, Gracelyn, at the time, and I was very happy with how my life was turning out. And I wrote this song, sort of a love letter to her. It just sort of had a jazzy vibe, sort of a Bobby Darin thing. And it really wasn't a Clark song necessarily, so I recorded it with a good buddy of mine, Rick Witkowski, and a guy named Anthony Rankin. And it sat on the shelf for many years. And then when COVID hit in 2020, I started doing live streams on Facebook every Saturday night. And after a week or two, I thought the live stream show needed a theme song. So I started playing this song called Here and Now before every show. And people really liked it, wanted to know where they could get it. And so finally I released it last year, and I'd like to play it for you now. It's called Here and Now. Hello, another invitation. Will you go with me to the tree? It's fine. And we could bring a little red wine. We're free, you and me. I'm floating like a feather on this sunny weather cloud, and it looks like we know how. It's our day off together, singing Sergeant Pepper loud, you and me, here and now. Hello, another invitation. Will you go with me out to sea? We're here, and we could bring a little cold beer. Weather's clear, my dear. We'll sail away together on this windy weather cloud, and we're dancing on the bow. Beyond the sea forever, singing Bobby Darin loud, you and me, here and now. Let's run away, let mysteries remain. Let's turn and walk away from the rain. Yeah. Ooh. Side by side forever, in the country, on the town, and we'll stand and make a vow. Spend our lives together, singing all you need is love, you and me, here and now. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You and me, here and now.
Let's talk about that one. First of all, You talk about not coming to the guitar late. I saw a D, then I saw a lot of barred chords there. There's a lot of there's 5-6 chords in that song.
Yeah,
At least, right? Yeah, there are a lot of them. You're moving up and down the fret there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What is that chord?
that's a A minor bar chord, but same as that.
Why did you play it down there? Just because that's where the hands take you while you're playing? You like the sound better?
I just like this. Yeah, I like the sound better.
Okay, just a little bit better, a little different sound. Yeah,
Yeah, a little different.
yeah, fantastic.
Well, that one's from the heart, though. That song.
Yeah.
that was outstanding. But
Thank you.
really good.
Thank you.
Really good.
Yeah. So that voice from the heart, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, big time.
When you're writing songs, are they personal experiences? Are they a step back? We talked about this. My wife and I watched the Billy Joel special last night, and he was talking about like every song, like Big Shot, was about his wife. I'm like,
Right.
oh my goodness, that's tough because it's not a
We
complimentary
can't
song.
compete with that, Rob.
I mean,
We have no chance.
right. So, I mean, are the songs you as an observer? Or are they mostly personal? Is it a combination? Is there something you just thought up?
Yeah. Most of them are personal, personal experiences. As I got older and I got more comfortable with songwriting, I started to be able to write from a third person perspective and write about other things and sort of other people and situations that I observe. And the next song I'll play, I'll delve into that a little bit more. It's more of a story. That's not so much a personal to me kind of a story.
Well, that's a T. Should we step aside, Jay? All
Yeah. All right, I'd like to learn again.
right here.
This is a song in 2013. There was a country singer. Her name was Mindy McCready, and she passed away in 2013. I wasn't a huge fan of her music so much, but I thought her story was very interesting. She was beautiful and talented, but she was also troubled, and she died young. And I thought, well, that sounds like a good story to write a song around. So I started working on this song called Irene, about a young, talented artist who dies too young. And at the same time, my father was in his last weeks of life and in hospice. So I was traveling back and forth to Connellsville visiting my dad. By the time I got to the third verse of the song, I realized the song was just as much about my father as it was about Irene. But this was an example of writing a song that wasn't about me. It was about another person. This is called Irene. She came from this place, such a pretty face, and she danced to the radio. And she could sing a song, the boys came along. She didn't know how to just say no. There's gonna be a tall, dark man to wed. There's gonna be some cold, hard truth. Instead, she's waving goodbye to 17 from a long white limousine. Some dreams are in the air, some are seen. Irene, well, she owned this town but couldn't settle down. They played her songs on the radio, but she partied late and she made them wait. It's all there on the video. There's gonna be a long bus ride ahead. There's gonna be some cold hotel in bed. She's waving goodbye to 23 from a long black limousine. Some dreams are in the air, some are seen. Irene, Ooh, Irene. Ooh, Irene. Well, she fell so hard, and her kids looked on. She passed on to the other side. It went downhill fast. You know, nothing lasts. I heard her song on a late night drive. There should have been some bright blue skies ahead. There's gonna be some cold, hard ground. Instead, she's waving goodbye to 33 from a long black limousine. Life's just as kind to you as it is mean. Irene, Irene.
Thank
you.
Beautiful song.
Oh, I love that.
Absolutely beautiful
I've
song.
written a lot of songs. Most of them I don't like, but I like that one.
This is really good.
How do you judge a song? Is there a vetting process? Do you play it for your wife, or do you play it for band members? You play it for friends? Who do you
Play for the band, play for the guys, see if they like it, and then you really find out when you play in front of an audience what kind of reaction you get. But sometimes, I mean, you have to believe in it, and you make it, and then if you record it, and then sometimes we're just not the best judges of what's going to end up being popular.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Like Penny on the Floor, for example, when I wrote that, we were a young band. The songs we were writing were loud and fast and aggressive, and Penny on the Floor was none of those things. And I didn't think the guys who were in the band were going to really like it. Well, they loved it. We recorded it. We didn't really think anybody else was going to care much for it. We just buried it at the end of our second CD, and WDVE started playing it, and it became arguably our most popular song. So we're not the best judges of what's going to.
Which is
Do you feel like a lot like if like a John, you ever hear yourself on first time you hear yourself talk, or your first time you see something like you don't really like the way that goes across. So that's one way. Secondly, can you feel like you can feel the audience, and if you know, hey, if the song is going over or not going over as much as you think, then you got to change it up. Like with your next one, do you change on the fly inside of a concert? Do you ever do that?
Not so much with the band. We'll sort of stick to the script.
Yeah.
Now, when I do solo shows, or sometimes we'll do acoustic trio shows, we'll really tailor it to what people seem to want to hear. If there's Clark's fans in the audience, we'll lean on the Clark's songs. If we're playing somewhere where maybe we're not getting the reaction out of the Clark's music, we'll play a lot more cover songs.
Yeah.
Or we'll jump into Tom Petty and Prince and the Beatles and do that. Whatever you can to sort of draw an audience in.
Somebody asked one of the members of Led Zeppelin, I remember it was Robert Plant or Jimmy Page, said, what was it like the first time you played Stairway to Heaven in concert? And they said, well, the crowd said, we want to hear Whole Lot of Love, right? Because it was a new song. Yeah. So how do you kind of acclimate those new songs in? Is it just selection? Hey, they reacted well, because they're not always going to react well.
Right.
They want to hear the old songs.
Right. They want to hear the stuff they're familiar with.
Right.
And we get it. But you play these songs, you put them out, and once people have an opportunity to listen to them in their car and listen to them at home, and then you start playing them live, and they start coming around. But certain songs, even when they're brand new, sometimes we'll get a reaction right away, and you're like, oh, we have something with that one.
So we didn't talk a whole lot about the Clarks being founded at IUP. First of all, had you been in any other bands prior to that, or was the Clarks?
No, that was
it. Those guys.
The first and only band I've ever been in.
What an amazing! It's kind of like four lads from Liverpool formed the Beatles. Four guys from IUP formed the Clarks. That's really cool. So then I just want to jump to this because we're talking about songwriting. The first time you wrote a song with these guys was, I mean, we talked about this a little off camera. You're putting yourself out there. This is you.
Right.
This isn't, you're part of a cog in a machine working at a local firm or whatever. This is you. This is this is personal.
Right.
Was there some trepidation when you brought your first song there?
Yeah.
And is there still a little bit? Or are you like, I'm over that now?
No, that still is there. You're putting yourself out there all the time. And, we talked about how music is so subjective. And one person's Beatles is another person's Nickelback. So
right.
You just never know. And you have to develop a really thick skin as an artist very early on. We talked off air. When the band first was getting popular in Pittsburgh, early 90s, we were getting on the radio and we thought we were hot stuff. And I was at Metropole one night and walking up the stairs to the balcony, and some guy yelled up, "Hey, aren't you in the Clarks?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "You guys suck." So I got used to it really early on. And hey, it's just music. It's easy to ignore us. If you don't like it, just turn the channel or whatever. We're not drilling in your backyard. It's just music.
Yeah.
So I look at it that way too, but it is personal, and hey, it's just human nature. You want to be liked. The things that you do, you want people to respond to, and if they don't, that's fine.
Let's think about it. You mentioned that, but you look at, like you said, how many years you've been in the music industry, and the love you kind of get from the fan base that we've talked about.
Yeah,
that longevity alone, to be able to do something that long and something that you love, that's special in itself, right there.
I'm so fortunate.
Yeah, I mean, any of us that have had the ability, our careers don't last that long.
Right.
In sporting career, you're done. If you're lucky enough to play close to 10 years, that's a godsend.
Right. Music is wonderful that way because the you can do it a long time as long as we stay healthy.
Yep.
And one of the things that I sometimes talk to people about, when we first started doing this, it was really just to have fun, to free beer at the fraternity and meet girls and stuff like that. But 10, 20, 25, 30 years in, you start to realize that you have a really positive impact in people's lives. People come up to you now and they'll say, "I met my wife at your show," or "Our first date was a Clark's concert," or "This song got me through cancer." That's powerful, powerful stuff. I mean, I know how music affects me and how music can help me get through life on a daily basis. And to know that, it's not on a massive scale, but our music does that for other people is just a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Yeah, and the notion that I think music is different from sports. I'd like your opinion on this. I'm that sports, hey, you get to be a certain point and you kind of, that's it. Somebody younger, faster, stronger is coming along. I'm sure you pick up a guitar and think, I can get better. Right. I'm an improving guitar player. I'm an improving songwriter. I'm an improving singer or what have you. You can still get better.
I sing better now than I ever have in my entire life.
That's so awesome.
At 60 years old, after 40 years, I take better care of my body.
I see your voice sounds phenomenal.
It's just it's an instrument, and there's a resonance. And as you get older, it's like an old classic guitar. It gets better with age.
I think that's Bill Deasy, I think, is similar to that. But I mean, Bruce Springsteen is a guy who hasn't lost a lot off his fastball. Other groups are like, okay, we're going to slow this down and go to a different
Right.
chord here.
Right.
Can bring it down an octave, right, or a key or whatever. Right. You haven't had to do that.
No. I'm so lucky. I like I said, I sing better than I ever have.
As your songwriting,
Yeah.
and your songwriting, then if you continue to write songs, your experiences have only grown. Now you have your daughters that are coming into play in what you're doing.
Right.
I think that's a very special, that talent to be able to write songs, as we talked about in show one. I think the ability to do that is a special trait. And then add it to what
these songs are incredible. You played today, incredible. Yeah, it's great stuff.
Oh, thank you so much.
How are the Steelers going to do this year? We got to bring it back to sports.
I'm really excited for this year. I really am, Rob. I maybe it's just that eternal optimist in me, but I really think Aaron Rodgers is going to have a good year. I think the Steelers are going to have a good year. I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl, but I don't see them. I don't see why they can't be a 10, 11 win team. I really do. I'm excited.
I like it.
How is Aaron Rodgers not juiced too? I mean, you think it's fresh. It's new blood for him too.
Right.
Yeah. He's coming in. He's got to be. He knows this is his last shot.
Yeah,
right.
This is it. And then he's just got to be the quarterback. That's all we're asking you to do.
Yeah.
You don't have to be the GM. You don't have to. I can't wait to see what happens. Now, it could be a train wreck.
Well, I don't think it's going to be, though. I'm with you.
I don't think it's going to be that. I really don't. Now,
Yeah, you touched on this briefly too, but I didn't want to leave without saying this. What's it like? You perform with your daughters, but now Ava's playing more with it. I mean, what? And I've seen some shows. I think it's Rob's daughter also sings.
Right.
What's that like? I mean, that's just got to be so cool.
There is not a more special feeling in the world than singing with your daughter on stage in front of an audience.
Man,
It is just there's some spiritual thing that just you just don't find in any other aspect of life. All my daughters are wonderful singers. Ava is the one who is going to pursue it as a career, musical theater. She's going to Point Park. She starts as a freshman this fall, and she's got big dreams, and I'm so excited for her. And just recently, she's become way more interested in singing with me on stage, and there's a certain
so you've changed.
the DNA thing comes into play when you sing with somebody in your family. The voices they just meld.
Isn't there multiple, like Dave Grohl, doesn't he's out?
Yeah,
Is it? They're all, they've all kind of said basically what you've just made. I think that would be very special too. We talked about just watching our daughters play sports or, anything like that's a great feeling. I can only imagine. That's a little more.
If you're skating on a line with Chandler and Madison, right? Yeah, right. That's right. That'd be pretty good. Jay and I, it's interesting where the things sort of collide. Like you're a huge sports fan and we're huge music fans, and to be able to have you come on here. And when we have you on again, we'll talk more sports.
Okay.
But we love talking about music because we're just huge fans.
Thanks, Rob.
Yeah,
Jay.
Yeah,
it's really been
seriously, Scott, that's phenomenal. Thanks so much for being a part of this. We really appreciate it.
Glad to be a part of it.
Yeah,
we'll do it again.
We would love it. This has been a blast. I want to thank One Team Media for producing this for us as always, because we would have zero chance of ever doing. Could you run a soundboard if you had to? Well, you probably had to set up your own equipment.
Yeah.
So we couldn't run a soundboard.
Over the years, I've learned I could be a sound man.
Yeah, we could.
No, we realized that one day we realized we did not have the skill and talent that it took to put together any of this.
I want to thank Rourke Automotive Group and the Rourke Advantage with others. They have a lifetime engine, warranty, a lifetime oil change, lifetime inspection, state inspection. If you buy your vehicle there, we want to thank them for being on board with us. We really want to thank our special guest, Scott Blasey, for joining us here today. For Jay Caufield, I'm Rob King. Thanks to you for watching this edition of Offset with Kinger and the Big Man.